Hi everybody, Mark Lawrence for the basketball videos here at Playbook.com. We preview the Western and Eastern Conference playoffs tipping off this week. Let's take a look at the Eastern Conferences, where you're not going to find better previews anywhere than right here at Playbook.com on our basketball videos. In the Eastern Conference matchup, the number 1 seed Indiana Pacers take on the number 8 seed Atlanta Hawks. These two teams split going 2-2 dead even this year. However, Indiana knocked Atlanta out of the playoffs last year, thus it will be playoff revenge for the Hawks entering this series. Indiana owns the number 1 seed because they own the best home court record in the NBA this year, going 35-6 on their home court. The Atlanta Hawks, horrible on the NBA playoff road. How about 4-29 straight up and just 7-26 to the spread of the Hawks away from home in the playoffs? Moving on now to our second playoff preview, we find the number 2 seed defending champion Miami Heat taking on number 7, the Charlotte Bobcats. The Heat have dominated this series, winning 16 games in a row straight up. And get this stat, in the playoffs with the big three, the Miami Heat, a perfect 7-0 straight up in ATS in playoff games when they're off a loss of more than 10 points. The Charlotte Bobcats, by the way, have never won a playoff series in their playoff history. Look for Miami to sweep this series. I think they win 4 games in a row. Moving on now to our next conference basketball playoff preview, we take a look. We find the number 3 seed Toronto Raptors taking on number 6 Brooklyn. Toronto comes out their franchise best season ever this year. That's why they're the number 3 seed. They've won the series 2 out of 3 times straight up in ATS this year. The Nets beat them 4 out of 6 times the last time they met in the basketball playoffs in 2007. Toronto, a nifty 7-1 to the spread in the playoffs as a dog when they take on an opponent off a loss. Brooklyn, how about 5-0 to the spread in the playoffs as a double-digit dog? The fourth and final preview inside the Eastern Conference comes compliments of our Playbook.com website, where you can pay after you win for all your NBA basketball playoff selections or get the same place at 40% discounts and guaranteed makeups, all online at Playbook.com. Or better yet, join me now for our NBA basketball playoff payoff special package. We're on a red-hot run in the NBA going into the playoffs. You can save $100 when you call me toll-free now to get on board at 1-800-321-7777. The fourth and final preview inside the Eastern Conference finds the number 4 seed Chicago Bulls taking on the number 5 seed Washington Wizards. Washington surprisingly wins 2 out of 3 games straight up in the series this year. They've also won 6 of the last 8 games to the spread inside the series. It's Chicago, however, that owns the number 1 best defense in the NBA this year, allowing less than 92 points a game. Chicago also 29-5 straight up, 22-11 to the spread in games in the playoffs when they've been upset as a favorite. The Wizards check in, struggling in the playoffs of late, losing 10 of the last 12 games straight up, covering the spread only 4 times. And away in Game 1 in the playoffs, Washington 0-5 straight up in ATS. I think the Chicago Bulls are the sleeper team in the Eastern Conference to watch in the playoffs this year. Until I preview the Western Conference playoff previews here at Playbook.com, this is Mark Lawrence reminding you to always remember to bet with your head, not over it. And good luck as always.